You are not crazy if you have ever felt like you were in a relationship that had rules you never agreed to, consequences you never chose, and expectations that were somehow binding even though no one ever had the conversation. That feeling has a name in avoidant attachment dynamics, and I call it the hidden contract. It is the unspoken agreement they think you signed the moment you got close. Not with your words, but with your warmth. Not with a label, but with access. And if you are anxious, this hidden contract is one of the most destabilizing relationship structures you can be pulled into. Because your nervous system can sense something is unfair, but your mind keeps trying to make it make sense. So, here is what we are doing today. I am going to expose the hidden contract in a way your body will recognize instantly. I will show you how avoidant attachment forms these unspoken rules, why anxious attachment gets trapped inside them, and the one calm standard that breaks the contract without drama, without revenge, and without you losing your dignity. If you stay to the end, you will stop negotiating with invisible rules and start building relationships only where reality is mutual. Now let me tell you what the hidden contract actually feels like, because that is how you will know you are in it. It feels like you are being held to partner-level obligations while they reserve the right to stay undefined. It feels like you have to be loyal, steady, available, understanding, sexually open, emotionally safe, low maintenance, and endlessly patient. But the moment you ask for the thing that would make those expectations fair, clarity, consistency, repair, they act like you are asking for too much. It feels like your needs are treated as pressure, but their needs are treated as normal. It feels like you have to behave as if you are in a committed structure, while they behave as if they still have plausible deniability. And the reason it feels so disorienting is because it is a contract you did not consent to, but you are being punished as if you did. So, let's name the core mechanic. Avoidant attachment is organized around autonomy as safety. Many avoidants learned early that being needed becomes pressure, closeness costs, and emotions are handled alone. So their nervous system protects them by keeping a sense of exit, a sense of control, a sense that they can reduce intensity whenever they want. That does not mean they cannot attach. Many avoidants attach deeply, but they often attach in a way that preserves autonomy, so they build closeness with escape routes built in. And one of the easiest escape routes is ambiguity, because ambiguity lets them have proximity without accountability. Ambiguity lets them receive connection without being held to relational responsibility. And this is where the hidden contract begins. The hidden contract is a set of assumptions that says you will keep giving partner benefits even if they do not choose you clearly, because in their mind, you being close means you implicitly accepted the arrangement. And if you are anxious, your system is organized around safety through closeness and clarity. So when they stay close, your body bonds. Your body reads proximity as hope. Your body reads affection as meaning. And then your mind tries to make the closeness safe by working harder, by being more patient, by being more understanding, by being easier. That is how the hidden contract gets enforced without either of you explicitly naming it. Now, I want to slow down and make this painfully clear. The hidden contract is not always conscious manipulation. Sometimes it is. But often it is just the avoidant nervous system running its old rules. They do not wake up and think, I will trap someone. They wake up and think, I want connection, and I want control. I want intimacy, and I want exit routes. And if they have not done the work to integrate those needs into mature relationship skills, they build a structure where they can get comfort without being accountable. And then they start reacting as if that structure is the default. So what are the terms of the hidden contract? I am going to say them in plain language, and as I say them, notice how many you recognize. The first term is, you will accept my closeness on my schedule. I will come close when I want closeness, and I will pull away when closeness starts to feel like expectation. And if you question the rhythm, that will be framed as you being needy or intense. The second term is, you will not ask for clarity in a way that makes me feel responsible. You can enjoy me, you can be close to me, you can be intimate with me, but you cannot ask me to define what we are, because definition removes my escape hatch. The third term is, you will interpret my inconsistency in the most generous way possible. You will call it stress. You will call it trauma. You will call it fear. You will call it timing. You will call it independence. And you will keep making space for it, because the moment you call it what it is, a destabilizing pattern, I will feel exposed. The fourth term is, you will continue to offer loyalty while I keep optionality. You will act exclusive. You will avoid dating others. You will emotionally commit, while I reserve the right to say, we never promised anything. The fifth term is, you will keep the emotional environment safe for me by keeping your needs small. You will not bring up discomfort too often. You will not require repair too directly. You will not express hurt in a way that creates emotional labor for me. The sixth term is, you will keep giving access even when you are not being chosen. You will keep giving time, attention, intimacy, emotional support, because I will give you just enough warmth to keep you invested. And if you read these terms and your body tightens, that is the point. Because the hidden contract is not just unfair, it is destabilizing. It trains an anxious system to work for crumbs. It trains a nervous system to treat ambiguity as something to solve. Now I want to show you how the hidden contract gets enforced, because it does not get enforced with threats. It gets enforced with emotional consequences. The consequence is withdrawal. The consequence is silence. The consequence is defensiveness. The consequence is you suddenly feeling like the bond is at risk the moment you ask for fairness. And if you are anxious, that consequence feels like danger. So you backpedal. You soften. You apologize for having needs. You try to phrase it better. You try to be chill. You try to prove you are safe. And every time you do that, the hidden contract becomes more real, because your nervous system is being trained that asking for clarity equals losing closeness. That is the trap. Now, let's make this concrete with a scenario that happens constantly. You are close. You are intimate. You are spending weekends together. You are texting every day. They say things that imply a relationship. They act bonded. Then you say one sentence that is normal in a healthy bond. What are we building? Are we exclusive? Where do you see this going? And suddenly, they shift. They get colder. They say they do not like labels. They say you are rushing. They say they need space. They say they are not ready. And then, the part that makes you feel crazy, they still want access. They still want the benefits. They still want you in their life. They just do not want the responsibility of choosing you. That is the hidden contract. It is closeness without agreement. It is benefits without accountability. It is intimacy without protection. Now, let's speak to the anxious listener directly, because I want you to stop doing the thing that burns your nervous system. When you are anxious, your brain tries to turn uncertainty into certainty by analyzing. It tries to decode the avoidant. It tries to figure out what they really mean. It tries to interpret every signal. And that constant internal debate becomes the relationship. You start scanning. You start reading pauses. You start watching how fast they respond. You start counting days. You start asking, did I ruin it? Should I text? Should I pull back? Should I be chill? And the reason this happens is not because you are weak. It is because your system is organized around clarity. So when you are in a structure that removes clarity, your nervous system becomes a detective. But the hidden contract is not solved by better detective work. It is solved by a standard that forces reality. Before we get to that standard, I want to explain something that will save you years. Many avoidants can be emotionally attached and still not have capacity to love you well. They can miss you. They can think about you. They can feel jealousy. They can feel tenderness. They can feel longing. They may even feel love. And still, they may not have the skills to hold your heart with consistency. So the question is not, are they attached? The question is, can they choose you consistently? Can they repair? Can they tolerate the reality that another person's emotional world matters and requires response? Commitment is not a feeling. Commitment is an ability. This is why hidden contracts are so common, because attachment can exist without maturity. And if you are anxious, you can sense attachment and assume it should lead to safety. But attachment without capacity leads to loops. Now I want to name the emotional signature of a hidden contract so you can catch it early. The signature is that you feel you have to earn stability. You feel you have to earn clarity by being easier. You feel you have to earn consistency by being patient. You feel you have to earn being chosen by shrinking your needs. And when you hear yourself thinking, if I just do not bring it up, if I just let it be, if I just stay calm, then they will commit, that is the contract talking. Because a real relationship does not require you to avoid reality to keep the bond. A real relationship can handle the sentence, what are we? A real relationship does not punish you for clarity. Now, let's get into why avoidants create hidden contracts in the first place. There are 3 common drivers. The first is autonomy threat. The label, the definition, the conversation about the future. Those things are not just words to an avoidant nervous system. They represent a shift from optional to accountable. They represent the loss of flexibility. They represent the possibility of being expected to repair. And if they did not learn repair as a skill, accountability feels like a trap. So they protect themselves with ambiguity, and they unconsciously recruit you into maintaining that ambiguity. The second driver is emotional outsourcing. Some avoidants use proximity as regulation. They stay close because you soothe loneliness, ego, desire, nervous system safety, identity. They want the benefits of being close, but they do not want the responsibility of choosing you. So the hidden contract becomes, I get the soothing, you tolerate the ambiguity. The third driver is self-image protection. Many avoidants want to feel like a good person. They do not want to be the villain who leaves. So they stay in proximity and they tell themselves they are being kind. But what they are really doing is outsourcing the ending to you. They keep the comfort but avoid the responsibility. And they wait for you to get tired enough to leave so they can say, it just did not work. That is a hidden contract too. It says, you will do the painful part so I can preserve my self-image. Now, I want to show you the difference between an avoidant who is attached but low capacity and an avoidant who is using the contract as a lifestyle. Because those are not the same, and your strategy is different depending on which one you are dealing with. Attachment with low capacity looks like this. They genuinely feel bonded. They do not want to lose you. They can be warm, consistent in bursts, and even sincere. But their repair skills are underdeveloped. They default to withdrawal when they feel pressure. They may be clumsy, but if you set a calm standard, they show willingness. They might say, "I move slowly, but I do want to keep building." They might agree to exclusivity. They might become more consistent. They might learn to repair. Hidden contract as lifestyle looks like this. They want partner benefits without partner agreement indefinitely. They resist clarity every time. They punish you for standards. They go vague, defensive, or disappear when you ask for reality. They return when you pull away, but the return is designed to restore access, not to change the structure. They come back exactly as they left. Same excuses, same uncertainty, same avoidance of the future. And if you stay in that loop, your nervous system becomes hypervigilant, and your life shrinks around the relationship. So how do you tell which one it is? You do not tell by their feelings. You tell by their willingness to pay a cost. Comfort stays when the cost is low. Bonding stays when the cost is real. And cost does not mean drama. Cost means responsibility, consistency, and repair. So instead of asking, "Do they miss me?" ask, "Do they pay a cost to keep me safe?" This is where your clarity comes from. The cost test is simple. A bonded avoidant may still be avoidant, but they will do something that reduces uncertainty over time. They will offer a clean sentence of clarity. They will follow through predictably. They will repair after distance. They will consider your emotional reality as real, not as pressure. They will integrate you over time in ways that cannot be explained as convenience. A comfortable avoidant will do something else. They will offer warmth without direction. They will offer closeness without accountability. They will offer returns without repair. They will keep your access high and your security low. Now, I want to make this deeply practical, because your nervous system will only trust what it can see. Here are 4 micro scenes, and as you listen, notice which one you live in. Scene 1. You have a great night of intimacy and closeness. The next day, you sense the shift. Quieter, slower, less responsive. Comfort will let you sit in that anxiety alone and call it normal. Bonding will do one small act that prevents your spiral. A simple message that says, "I had a great time. I am a little overwhelmed today, but I like you and I am here." That is not a contract. That is regulation through connection. Scene 2. You ask for clarity. Comfort responds with vagueness, timing, and spiritual language. Let's see how it goes. "I do not want pressure. I cannot do labels. I do not know what I want." And then, they still want full access. Bonding responds with structure. They might say, "I want to keep building. I want to be exclusive. I am not ready for big steps yet, but I am choosing you." That sentence is not romance. It is safety. Scene 3. There is a rupture. You feel hurt. Comfort gets defensive, disappears, or flips it on you because accountability feels like threat. Bonding is not always smooth, but it returns to repair. It does not leave you carrying the emotional cost alone. Scene 4. You stop overfunctioning. You stop initiating constantly. You stop rescuing silence. You stop offering partner benefits without being on the same page. Comfort will experience that as a loss of supply and reach out with intensity to restore access, then fade once they feel safe. Bonding will experience it as information and move toward you consistently, not just urgently. Now, I want to name the trap that keeps anxious people inside the hidden contract. The trap is negotiating down to stay connected. You start telling yourself you do not need the label. You do not need clarity. You will just enjoy it. You will be chill. You will not bring it up. And that can sound mature, but if your nervous system is suffering, it is not maturity. It is self-abandonment. Because you are not asking for a fantasy, you are asking for a container where your body can rest. So here is the reframe that saves you. Wanting clarity is not anxious. Being forced into ambiguity is what creates anxiety. The anxiety is not proof you are needy. The anxiety is proof the structure is unstable. Now, I want to give you a calm but powerful way to break the hidden contract without becoming cold. The rule is warmth without collapse. Warmth means you do not punish, you do not lash out, you do not try to win with silence. Collapse means you do not rush back into overfunctioning the moment they give you a little attention. So, when you notice the hidden contract, you do one thing. You remove partner-level access while staying kind. You stop giving the full benefits of you to a structure that is not choosing you. You do not threaten. You do not manipulate. You simply become congruent. And then, you watch what happens. If they are bonded and capable, they will move toward clarity and consistency to meet you. If they are comfortable, they will either disappear or offer a spike of warmth to pull you back without changing anything. That is your answer. And now, here is the sentence that breaks the contract cleanly. I like you, and I enjoy what we have. I am not asking for intensity. I am asking for clarity and consistency that matches how we are acting. I am not available for partner-level closeness without being on the same page. If you are not ready, I respect it, but I will step back. That sentence is calm. It is not dramatic. It does not accuse. It does not beg. It names reality. It invites a response through behavior. And it forces the hidden contract into the light. Because if they want access, they have to meet a standard of clarity, consistency, and repair. Now, I want to speak to the avoidant listener too, because this channel is at its best when it holds both sides without blame. If you recognize yourself in this, if you realize you have been operating with hidden contracts, understand what it teaches the other person. It teaches them that closeness equals uncertainty. It teaches them that intimacy can be punished with withdrawal. It teaches them to monitor you instead of trust you. And if you care, you do not need grand commitment. You need one small repair, one sentence that signals choice, one consistent behavior that reduces uncertainty. You can say, I like you, and I want to keep building. I move slowly, but I am choosing you. That sentence is not a prison. It is honesty. It stabilizes a nervous system. It allows intimacy to feel safe instead of addictive. Now I want to close with the most freeing truth in this entire topic. You do not have to be perfect to be chosen. You do not have to earn clarity by shrinking. You do not have to accept invisible rules to keep someone close. If someone can only stay close when you accept ambiguity, they are not offering a relationship. They are offering a contract where you pay with your nervous system. And you do not have to sign that. The goal is not to convince someone to choose you. The goal is to stop confusing comfort with commitment, so you do not waste years negotiating with invisible rules. The right person does not punish you for clarity. The right person does not require you to decode them to survive them. The right person can handle the sentence, "What are we building?" because the right person is building too. So choose the structure that chooses you. Welcome to PsychBond. You're safe here.